Sorry about that.
I hope you don't mind if I recall the call and the video and all that.
No, not of course not. Not at all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, I feel so delighted talking with you and getting you on board. It seems like
Well, my pleasure.
it seems like I've gotten one of the most prestigious professor and business educator whom I've seen so far on LinkedIn, though, because
Oh,
I try,
well, thank
I
you.
try, I try as much as possible to look up towards your endeavors, achievements, and so many things. A lot of individuals are talking about you online. I so much want to say thank you for having me here. I really appreciate that. It's my honor, sir.
Well, my pleasure. Thanks for reaching out. Nice to connect with you too.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, my name is Stanley Chukwuebuka Ikwebe. I am from Nigeria, but I live here in Dubai.
Great.
Yeah.
Super. One of my favorite cities in the world.
Oh, have you been to Dubai before?
Oh, many times. Many times.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's good. That's good to see you. That's good to hear, sir. All right. I work here in Dubai with Donatello Group and some other associate groups that are connected with Donatello Group. I work right now as business development manager. And also,
Great.
I already applied to trying to further my education to get my degree program. I've already done my degree program, so I want now to progress towards a graduate program. I've already gotten admission to some schools
Great.
for my MBA. And why I
Great.
looked up to you and I saw you was you were a professor in recently. I think you were resident professor, or I don't know how they put it, resident executive, I think
Right.
so, with
Right.
Southern Georgia. Then a lot of stuff which I'm saying, which align with my own research in terms of entrepreneurship, leadership, linking
Oh, great.
linking business with technology. Because as time goes on, a whole lot of things are revolving and changing. So I saw you. I
Right.
said,
Super.
I think this is going to be best, the best mentor and the best man to be able to ask a whole lot of questions as a business uh, entrepreneur and someone who want to go deep into the business environment. So it's my great pleasure to meet you. Right now, I'm gonna try to say one or two things which I know about you, so that
Sure.
those who I'm going to be sharing my knowledge and the videos and all the research which I've done concerning the business aspect can be able to know who
Great.
Professor Timothy Mescon is. All
Right.
right. Okay.
Super.
First of all, I'm gonna
Nice.
skip one or two things. You are a very globally recognized champion of business education. You have traveled wild, near and wild, Middle East, Asia, African, America, and so many other places. In terms of teaching and sending out a whole lot of knowledge to business students, to some innovators, so some technology oriented individuals all over the world. So right now,
Nice.
I just want to ask you one particular question that is so dear to
Sure.
we the young generation that is coming into or delving into the business environment. Now, we're going to go from the leadership aspect of it. Do you really think that leadership in business is the main drive in aspect of the organization structure, in aspect of the leadership is going to control the outflow of whatever that is going to happen in the business? So does the leadership of a company or a business, does it affect the profit of the company when it comes to the whole things or the whole rules and regulation that they made?
Right. So I think, I think we're on the same page there, that leadership drives everything. Now, obviously, the organizations got to have good products, good services, good financial resources. But at the end of the day, what sustains the organization's progress is clearly driven by leadership. And it's the tone that leadership takes. It's the ability of leaders to attract good talent that's committed, that's loyal to the organization, and that believes completely in the vision and mission and the strategy of the organization as well.
Okay, that's good. How can business effectively develop and nurture leadership skills amongst their employees, particularly in times of, we have a lot of changes that is going on all over the world, year by year,
Right.
day by day, and all that. How do you think that businesses effectively develop and nurture leadership skills among their employees?
Well, I think there's got to be it's a great question. I think there's got to be a deep commitment across the organization in long-term professional development for everyone at all levels. Anybody at any level in the organization needs to have the guidance to determine what is their journey, what is their pathway that they see on their career, and then what kind of ongoing personal and professional development is required to help them accomplish those objectives. So it's very, very important in that regard.
Okay. That's all right, sir. Okay, I'll go to this particular question also. You have you have a whole lot of knowledge in different fields, not only in businesses. Then I want to ask, in your view, how has the concept of leadership evolved over the years? Because you have been in many decades in the business. So how has it evolved over the years? And what are the implications for the business we have today? Because the business we have today, the way it's being run, it's not the way it's being run 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and all that.
Right. So basic leadership principles in many regards, Stanley, have remained the same. But what has truly changed generation by generation of young people is what motivates them. And I think great leaders understand that what generated millennials doesn't necessarily generate support Gen Y or Gen Z or today Gen Alpha, the youngest generation. And I think there's got to be an understanding of what motivates different generations of employees. But at the end of the day, great leaders have the ability to listen very carefully to what their team is saying. They are humble. They are authentic. That is, they answer honestly and directly. And if they don't know something, they will say they don't know, but will find a response. So there are leadership characteristics that remain the same. But the reality is different generations of employees are motivated by very different things today. And a leader has to understand that and work to those interests of different employees.
That's an amazing response, sir. I'm really guessing because you're filled with a whole lot of knowledge in different aspects which I'm driving at. And I really want to say thank you, sir. There is one interview you had. You made a mention that it is very important for think you said business education to have interpersonal relationship with other departments.
Right.
So can you throw more light and explain to me what you really mean on that, sir?
Ask me that one more time, if you would, please.
Okay. There's one particular comment or the interview which I watched you explain and say
Yeah.
that business education supposed to have or to be fostering a good relationship or interrelationship with other departments, like maybe
Yes.
business education having good relationship with those also in computer technology and others.
Right.
You
Good
really
point.
explained
Right.
it properly in that interview. So I really want you to also throw more light on that.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of focus today, Stanley, on what we call interdisciplinary connections,
Thank you.
where business, needs to be connected with students in the STEM areas, in the science and the technology and the engineering areas, in the arts, in the humanities as well. And I think this is very important to believe that it takes this collective across disciplines, in many cases, to come up with the right answers, the right solutions. And so, very important in university and other places that there's this connection across disciplines is very, very important.
Okay. You remind me of the right word you use. Connecting interdisciplines. Though that's the right word you use to explain that particular, and it strikes me so well that you brought about having a good relationship with other departments, because having a good relationship or good uh, uh let me just go with the relationship word with other departments. With other departments, it fosters a lot of growth and development in both sectors also.
Exactly.
All right, so as a young man from Africa, we are having a whole lot of issues in terms of entrepreneurship, and
Yes. Yeah.
in some cases, governments are not really helping out or giving a good environment for a lot of entrepreneurs to grow
Right.
and access so many things that needs to help them to grow and also impact uh in the economy of the country. So in what aspect will you suggest or say that okay, this particular this is the particular thing that some countries in Africa, in North America, and so many other places can do for their citizens or students who want to go into entrepreneur? Because when you have an enabling environment, enabling
Right.
economy, enabling so many things that helps you to push your business, you can easily strive, you can easily succeed and move from step to step and different other areas that you want to. So what do you think that government parastatals can do for the young ones who want to go into entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think that is perhaps the most important question, because I think in many countries around the world, it will be entrepreneurs that are the future of those countries in terms of
Yes.
economic development, in terms of employment growth. It's going to come from young people, it's going to come from entrepreneurs. And I think smart governments recognize that, they acknowledge that, they provide support in terms of education, in terms
Okay.
of mentoring. They can create also small investment funds to help these entrepreneurs get started. And I think that's all very, very critical for economic development in so many countries around the world. And I think it continues to be a challenge for governments to acknowledge that and to understand, how do we make this work, and how do we create opportunities for young people to launch their own businesses in that
Business and
regard.
brand. Oh, that's amazing, sir. That's amazing. All right, I will say this. Right now I'm trying to know if, because one of my friend, we're trying to know if we can be able to develop there's a software we want to develop, and it's going to be a software that can be able to send a message or a request, like you're in a festival or whatever, then you say, okay,
Right.
we are going to bring out a code, then we bring it
Right.
out for the for the guests. They can be able to request and send in their song, their quotes, or whatever they want the person who is there or who have the event to project and give out for them. So what I'm trying to ask you now is, as a young entrepreneur, what are some critical success factors that we should look into before bringing those things to the market? And for us to assimilate the market, we need to look at so many factors. So
Sure.
I'm trying to know right now what you think we can do to bring it to the assimilate into the market easily.
Well, I think you need to always be focused, Stanley, on identifying other initiatives. In this case, if it's other software that does similar things, what does it look like? Why is it successful? I love the idea you have, because I think, so many festival organizers are looking for ways to stay connected in real
Connected.
time, right, with the participants in the festivals. And it's also an added resource they can provide to participants in their festivals, not only to connect with, for the festival to connect with them, but perhaps even for individuals within the festival to connect with each other. So I think to always look for, for successes, and what makes them success in terms of similar products, services, software is very, very important. And why is yours a little bit better, a little bit different, and meets a need?
That's all right. So this particular point is noted, and it's very important. It's very important because it will go a long way for us.
Right.
All right, so how can colleges and universities better support and encourage students to pursue their entrepreneurial ventures? This is one of the main things we lack back in Africa, because a whole lot of students are being programmed. Should I use the word programmed for white collar jobs? That you have to when you have to go to school. When you finish, you need to get a job and all that. So how do schools encourage and support new students that are coming out to venture into entrepreneur?
Well, I think, fortunately, many, many business schools are slowly starting to see that entrepreneurship is a keen interest of their students. And so many, many are getting involved in entrepreneurship education, and many have entrepreneurship centers. Many have Um, they have resources where they're supporting small startups, providing incubator support for students. They have accelerators that provide different kinds of additional support as the businesses get started, financial support and other. So there's a great opportunity now where students are looking for a better match with business schools today to find those that provide these kinds of resources. And many, many more today are doing this because this is what, as you're saying, this is what students and young people are looking for in business education today. So it's becoming much more available at business schools worldwide today. You just have to look. You just have to see what is it that they're offering in this entrepreneurship area that would be of interest to me and that would help me as well.
That's amazing, sir. Okay, use these 3 minutes to get a very good view of one or two things, because then we can be able to schedule another time. Okay, I will try to ask once. I will go back again to education with technology.
Okay.
In what ways can technology be a leverage to facilitate experiential learning and practical application with business education?
Great question.
Yeah, this is still going to take us back to the previous, I think the first question which I asked you.
Yes, I gotcha. Yeah, it's a great question. And, there's so much tied to technology, to software, the global interest among young people in programming, in learning things like Python and other programming platforms that can be super helpful. It's all tied to technology. And so I think technology becomes the great leveler for entrepreneurial startups worldwide, because it's a replacement for what we call bricks and mortars for buildings and other capital equipment. A lot of the transactions can be done on software platforms that are technology driven and don't require massive investments in facilities. So I think the magic can be all about technology moving forward.
I have tons of questions. Even I was opportune to attend the COP28, which happened in December 15th to thereabout. In November, I think November ending to December 15th thereabout in Dubai here, and I have a whole lot of tons of questions concerning climate change affecting businesses and so many other stuff.
Super.
But I think we are going to reschedule it to another time, depending on when you're going to be able to give me the available slot for the time. And this knowledge was, I don't know if it's worth any amount of money. I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Thanks for reaching out.
For giving me the opportunity to talk to you. And I think very soon.
So nice of you to reach out.
Very soon, by God's grace, I will be in Georgia Southern for the fall semester for my MBA program. And definitely, I will try as much as possible to connect with you, sir.
We will do that for sure. Nice to meet you, Stanley. Pleasure.
Thank you very much, sir. And I really
I'm wishing you all the very best.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, this was an amazing experience, and we have tons of messages, email, questions coming in that we have to ask and talk about. Right now, I think this is one of the best knowledge which I've already gotten so far.